peace and blessings. How are you, brothers? Everyone knows the first phase is about to end and we're approaching the second phase. Many characters like in the first phase. We have a new character, which is Shakuna, in addition to 4 or 5 characters within the special banner. Of course, in today's clip, I will try to show you what is good with the character, and it's up to you based on my words to see what you will do. Of course, before we start, the most important thing is that you enjoy yourself, meaning the character you like and want to get, regardless of whether you have a team or not, go get it. The important thing is that you enjoy the game. You are the one who decides the future of your account, not the game. Anyway. In any case, let's start with the hype banner. We have the brands Changli, Genshi, Carlotte and Rukia, or Mamamia, or Rukia. Call it whatever you want. Anyway, let's start with the brand character. The brand character, if you want to get it, keep in mind you must get its weapon too. You know what I mean? It's one of those characters like that. Don't get the brand without its weapon. It must be with you in the account because the brand's weapon first provides it with energy in a way. 77 energy in addition to giving you below 8% rate besides the buffs of the weapon. But generally speaking, this thing helps you with building. You know how the weapon in general will help you with building and makes it easier for you to build brand and at the same time sets you up in terms of damage. And in addition, as I told you, it gives 8 rate. The character needs to be repeated because it will only hit a single blow, which you need to explode it in one hit. You know how, with one hit, the damage is high and it needs to be critical. So if it's not critical, it won't have a significant impact on your team. If you have the character Changli and you want to get the character lupa in the future, go get the character Brant. Of course, as I told you, you must have or try to get his weapon. Why do you need Changli? Because Brant benefits from Changli. And why do you need to get lupa? Because lupa is mostly, of course, put it in parentheses. This talk might change because the character hasn't been released yet, probably due to Brant. You know how it goes. Even if it's not lub, or even if, let's assume you couldn't get lub with you in the future. Brant and Changli are already an amazing team, include Verena or include Sanha and you'll be fine. God willing, let's assume you don't have Changli, but you want to get lub in the future. And in case lupa works with him, because as I told you, the character hasn't been released yet, so I can't talk about something when the character hasn't been released yet. We are speaking in case, which is what's expected. Anyway, we move on to the next character, which is the character Changli, exactly like what I said about Brant. But if you have instead of Brant, if you have Changli, bring Brant yet. If you have Brant, bring Changli. You know how things are really smooth and easy if you have Brant with his weapon. Of course, definitely if you bring Brant, you have to get his weapon. Or let's assume you don't have a weapon and you don't want him for damage. You want him to be sub DPS for the future. Bring Changli and get his weapon. Why do you have to get Zhongli's weapon? Currently, the strongest weapon in the game is Zhongli's sword. It's the only one that gives you crit damage. We'll wait and see the weapon. For the character Cartethyia, people are saying different things. Some say damage, others say HP, because we know the character hasn't been released yet, so there's a lot of rumors and leaks and so on. We have no business in that. Even if a weapon were released, let's assume it was crit damage. For Cartethyia, it would probably already boost air damage origin, so it would only work with Cartethyia. You know how the Changli weapon will provide a qualitative leap in or on your account, since it is the only sword that gives you crit damage. If you want to get lupa, also, Changli will be good because mostly orders expected Changli will be the one to buff Lub. As you know, Changli provides a buff to Liberation, so most likely lupa if the team fusion works, which is Brant, Changli, lupa. Changli buffs lupa, lupa buffs Brant, and Brant buffs Changli, and it's a cycle, blah blah blah. That's it. Anyway, I think the idea is clear. The team fusion is obvious. There's no other team yet, so the team is clear and very smooth. Of course, keep in mind that both Brant and Changli are treated as sub DPS and not as DPS. If you don't have Brant or Changli and you want to make them DPS, that can work for you, but both characters remain sub DPS and not DPS. Focus on this. Okay, let's move on to the next character, which is Rukia or Rukia, and honestly, I like to call her Mamamia. So what's with this Mamamia character? If you have Carlotte, what's with Carlotte? If you have Camellia and you're playing with them and enjoying them, then go get Rukia. Rukia is one of the amazing characters, obviously, in addition to having good combinations. You play her combos. Of course, her combo relies on heavy attack in addition to gathering enemies, which is nice, As a character overall, she will be beneficial initially. If you have Camellia, go ahead and get Rukia. Rukia will help you as damage in the team, meaning with the total combo rotation damage, she will help you at the same time. Good. And yes, she is the best side by side with Camellia, and she also gathers enemies for you because, as we know, Camellia, when enemies are gathered, she strikes them with her helicopter. Okay, we're done with the Havoc team. Now let's move on to the Glacier team, which is currently under debate. You tell me, why the debate? I don't know, wherever I go, who is better, Carlotte or Zane? Who is better, Carlotte or Zane? Who is the best DPS? My dear, what are these strange comparisons? Carlotte is a DPS Glacio character, and Zani is a DPS Spectre character. How do you compare two characters, each with an element? Each is used differently, meaning Zani is legendary on the ship, truly legendary. Carlotte is legendary with the hologram, but Carlotte is lighter than Zani on the ship, and Zane, I do not recommend anyone plays it in the hologram because in all its animations, it's a stun. If the enemy catches you, you'll get hit, and if you dodge, you'll get hit because the rotation will also hit you. Each character has a specific place to play in. These comparisons, stop these comparisons completely. They are pointless since each character is different and each character is an element. For the tour, you actually need to have more than one team and more than one element team because you see the tour requires elements and every time a new tour comes out, the elements mix up, you know? So you have to have teams from most elements to be precise in order to awaken or to that means you won't mess up during the toss someday, you know how. Anyway, when to bring Carlotte? If you have Jin in front, go get Carlotte. Jin is actually the best DPS for Carlotte, but try to get Carlotte's weapon, okay? The standard weapon works with him, but still, her weapon is the best as it gives a critical damage of a massive 77%. Are you talking, man? This is just me alone with the weapon without anything, without even talking about the skill damage bonus, which reaches about 45 to 93. I don't remember exactly. I'll include it in the edit. In any case, the awesome weapon with Carlotte, you know how it is. Let's assume you don't have Gigi and you want to bring Carlotte with her weapon. Using Toki or Lumi with her works well, but in the future, you might want to get Gigi since she's a better support DPS. And at the same time, Gigi's damage with you, her damage is good. You know how the character in general has good damage. Carlotte is one of the characters they tried to make sure to consider this, because right now there's nothing but the ID. And when I look at the comparison topic, we only have Team Palacio. And the Fusion team is still not complete. The Wind team, which belongs to Asian, was dropped, and now they are releasing a new Wind team, which hasn't been released yet. The Spectre team that belongs to Zani has just been released, and there's also the Spectre team of Genshi, each played in different places. As I told you, Zani is better with the ship than Genshi. I see it, I feel, and this is what I truly see. But Genshi in the hologram, someone loves knowing how it's the same topic. I mean, I see this comparison as not, it's good, but let's suppose, and now we're entering Team Genshi. Suppose you have Zani, should you bring Genshi? I see it's not wise option right now. Why? Sure, because you already have Team Spectre. It's better to diversify, like I told you, with the teams or the team's elements. So currently, in my opinion, Genshi is amazing. Great animation, impressive, enjoyable character. But I can't get her, and I wish I could, and I regret it. I skipped it. But for Genshi currently, if you have the Zani team, do not bring the Genshi team. Leave it later. Why? Because you already have the Spectre team currently going. For the other elements, if you have the elements from the team, for example, Glacio team, Ilugis, the Wind team, etc., etc., etc. You want to get Genshi, go ahead, get Genshi. It's not a bad choice, but focus with me. If you want to get Genshi, you must have Cantrella or Gigi with you, the artist. Why? Because I honestly see these as the best two characters as support DPS for Genshi. You can replace them with Yo-Yo, but I don't see it as a wise choice, honestly. Stick with Kiki or with Genshi and you're all set, God willing. Kiki or Canrilla, sorry, it's not Genshi. Kiki or Canrilla is the best support DPS currently released for Genshi. Of course, pay attention to the DPSs. They should be the priority in terms of weapons. Then comes support DPS, and lastly, you get the buffer. That's how I honestly see it. Let's go to the last banner, which is the new character's banner. The character is Shakuna. Once the character is released, I'll upload an explanation video for Shakuna. So like subscribe and activate the bell button to receive the notification. What? Okay, what does the character Shakuna do? Quite simply, the character Shakuna is a wind element character who uses a pistol weapon, in addition to placing the element or what's called the air origin and the Spectre Frazzle effect. Okay, with this, we'll know, or here we'll know that Cartethyia, as you mostly know, 99% and 100% probability. Even God willing, it might be released and you will rely entirely on the air origin, okay? And this is clear from the current direction of the game. So Shakuna must be in your team. So if you get Cartethyia, you need to try to get Shakuna. Why? Well, you see, Shakuna will likely be essential in Cartethyia's team, okay? A main character in the team. Cartethyia can be replaced with Wind Rover, but Wind Rover doesn't place an arrow origin. So you'll need to include a character in the team who adds other elements for the Wind Rover or effects of other elements for the Wind Rover to convert. Currently, we only have Phoebe, and you won't put both Shakuna and its Spectre Frazzle. You convert them with the Rover. But of course, you won't do this strange move. No, you'll put Phoebe, put Spectre Frazzle, then convert them all with the Rover to Air Origin and leave. For Cartethyia. Okay, what will this move do? Focus with me. In this move, you use two characters who are Rover and Phoebe. Unlike Shakuna, he is a character that can be placed in their team. I mean, Shakuna and Cartethyia can then place a Frina or Shore keyboard. In short, Shakuna initially being the only one putting Aerogen, you with Shakuna spare another character, or better, don't use the Rover. The Rover will take up 2 slots in the characters, which is the Rover and the second character that places the effect. That's why I say Shakuna will be the main in Cartethyia's team, because honestly, putting Rover and Phoebe with Cartethyia without the buff filler like the Shure keyboard or Verena, you lose a lot of damage. You know what I mean? Of course, we're waiting for Cartethyia to see, but mostly this is what I see. Shakuna will be an essential part of the team, Cartethyia, to achieve the highest damage for the character. Of course, do not get her weapon currently. I do not see her weapon as important. Honestly, the standard weapon is fine with you, but if you have plenty of pulls and no issues, go get her weapon, but focus with me. Cartethyia's weapon is important for Cartethyia, because if it is as hyped now, it could be HP. We do not have any preferable HP weapon. It's better to get her weapon and be done with it. Though, if you have weapon pulls for Shakuna, it's preferable to save them for Katya. And that's just what I was seeing. Write your opinions below in the comments. What do you think and what do you generally see? And what will you bring in the second phase? Will you bring Shakuna or Brant or Changli or Genshi or Carlotte or Mamamia? Don't forget to like and subscribe, and peace be upon you.
Thanks for watching! Listen! The Trio of Destiny!